Welcome to my trading room. This is Atcoin day trading, Ethereum, the best Elliott wave analysis, episode number 21. So today I'm going to take a brief look at Ethereum. I will take a look at its Ichimoku cloud and its latest Elliott wave labeling. First, I want to read to you a small passage of a book that I'm reading right now, and which is an excellent book. It talks about trading mentality, and it talks particularly about the samurai mentality and how the samurai looked at life. And I find it very interesting, and I'm going to read to you the last passage I've read in that book. It is as follows. It is an unacceptable fact or law that there just can't be opportunity without some kind of risk. You don't have to like this arrangement, but you do have to learn to accept and live with it. So what the sensei, the teacher, is trying to tell you is that in order for you to find opportunity, you will find with it risk. And the higher the opportunity, the higher the risk is. And as it tells you, you must be capable of accepting the risk. If you can't accept risk, then then you cannot realize the opportunity. And risk in trading is, of course, enduring a loss, is losing some money. But that risk, you must accept it if you want to trade. If not, you cannot trade. You have to do something else with your life, but you certainly cannot trade. I also did actually find an interesting answer to one of my private clients. And I did write the answer as follows. He asked about Elliott wave and the stock market, and I did answer his question in the following manner. Elliott wave is the best tool we have for trading and investing. However, it is only an indicator and often wrong. The labeling have to be updated. So by wrong, I mean that it's not 100% certain that if Elliott wave says that there is a bottom, that there really is a bottom, because that analysis might be wrong and price may still go lower. So it is not 100% certain, but Elliott wave tells you that there is an opportunity for a bottom having formed, and you either realize that opportunity and take some risk and try to capitalize on that risk and have a trading victory, make some money, or you let it go by. But it's not 100% certain. And when the labeling has to be updated, and then of course it is the new labeling that counts. That does not take away its worth or value. You have to learn how to live with probabilities if you want to survive in the market. I could also have said you have to learn how to live with risk if you want to survive in the market. The correlation between US stocks and Bitcoin from a trading or investing standpoint is meaningless. By that, I mean it will not help you with your trading or investing, but they are both risk assets, which means people use them when they want to expose themselves to more risk, when they are optimistic about the future. So my client asked me about the relationship between US stocks and Bitcoin. And it's a classical question. You get it all over and over and over. every trader gets that, every analyst gets that question from time to time. Quite frequently, if he has a lot of clients, a lot of students, then he gets that question over and over. And I've answered it a couple of times, and I'm answering it again, and I'm telling you again, it does not matter. Every asset has his labeling. So yes, actually, right now, you can see some kind of relationship across all assets, not just US stocks, but you also see it a little across other assets like gold. You get the impression right now that everything is going down at the same moment and everything is going up at the same moment. But it's just a coincidence. In that relationship won't hold. You will have a time where Bitcoin goes up and US stocks go down again. It is not because during a certain period of time, like the last couple of months, 2, 3, or 4 months, it's not because there seem to be some kind of relationship that there really is one on the long term. It just happens that people either want to expose themselves to risk or they get scared and then they want to get out of risk. And if everybody gets scared at the same moment and wants to get out of risk, then those assets will go down. But that relationship, when it appears, it does not appear all the time. You cannot capitalize on it because it's just a coincidence. It won't help you in any way. So you always have to follow the labeling, the Elliott wave labeling of the particular asset. So I look at the Elliott wave labeling on gold, I look at the Elliott wave labeling on stocks, and I look at the Elliott wave labeling on Bitcoin, and I follow what Elliott wave tells me according to each asset. And the relationship is even stronger if you look in between different cryptos. So in the same market, that relationship is extremely strong. But if you get outside, it gets less strong. So anyways, it just won't help. It's a waste of time. If you think that everything goes down because stocks go down, then just short the market when you think that stock goes down. But it won't tell you when stock goes down, go down. And even if it does, you will very soon find out that it's not because US stock go down that Bitcoin goes down. If you know that US stocks go down, just short the stock market. Why are you looking at stocks? If you know the stock goes down, why are you looking at Bitcoin? Just short the stock market and make some money out of the stock market. I don't get it. I really don't get it. People who are that fascinated with other markets and want to find clues in other markets how to trade Bitcoin. It won't work. It's a waste of time. It won't work. Anyways, and that being said, now let's take a look at what I finally wanted to do. And that is show you my disclaimer and then talk about Ethereum. So let me share the screen. Here's my disclaimer. And below it is the risk warning. The links are in the description. So you will find it in the description. And I briefly will talk about my service. So I provide live Elliott wave updates. Those updates will cost you 20 USD a month, and you get 1 to 3 updates on Bitcoin a day, and you get 1 update on US stocks, the S&P, and 1 update on gold. All that for only 20 USD a month. Now, why is that important? It's because I cannot do a YouTube intervention about the same asset like Bitcoin every day. If I could, then you would not need live Elliott wave updates. But I have other things to do. I cannot just spend my time talking to you on YouTube. So it takes me less time to update, to make a screenshot and write a small comment below it. So with that, you have an update on Bitcoin, a couple of updates, 1 to 3 a day on Bitcoin, and it will cost you 20 USD a month. That is extremely useful if you are an investor or trader. You should know what the indicator Elliott wave tells you. You should know. You should know if we are close to a bottom. You should know if you are close to a top. You should know if there's a probability that we are in a triangle. You should know all those things when you are trading. It helps a lot. So you should know that even if you're investing, you should know what your investing is doing. And if we are close to a top or if you're close to a bottom, you still should know that if you're investing. And that's why I provide those live 8-wave updates. And sometimes I talk about Ichimoku because it gives good entry, exit, and trading stop loss points. I also provide coaching, one-on-one coaching. And right now I have a limited time offer, which allows you to get a huge discount, but you need to be one of my private clients. It's only for my private clients. So that is recommended. It is recommended to have, to take also, to ask for a one-on-one coaching lesson, because it will help you. It will help you to have me take a look at what you are doing and why you're doing it, and guiding you, providing you some guidance. Trading is a hard business. It's not something you do on the side. It's not something you do without using your entire head and your entire intelligence. It's something that asks a lot of you trading. So it's not something you do on the side. It's a business that that asks a lot of involvement, a lot of capital, a lot of time, a lot of intelligence. You have to find a way to make it work for you, and that's not an easy thing. So it helps having somebody with who you can talk and see what you're doing and if it makes any sense. Now, that being said, I would like you to ask you to like and comment. So you always can leave me a comment. I appreciate reading them from time to time, especially when they're kind. And liking is extremely important if you want me to provide you more free stuff on YouTube. So you have to like in order for other people to find those interventions. If nobody watches my intervention, then there's no point in me taking time out of my day and talking to you on YouTube. So I need you to like, and that is very easy. If you do that simple step is download this extension. It's a Chrome extension. So it goes with every Chrome browser, and there are lots of them. You just download the YouTube Creator Endorsement extension, and then you get that button and you say yes. And every video of that producer, for example, me or somebody else, will be automatically liked every time you watch it. So it just asks you to press this green yes button. And if you do that, all the videos from the same producer will be liked automatically. So that's an easy thing to do. I do it for everybody who is worth some endorsement, even if I don't especially like what they're saying or what they're doing. But if I watch, I at least leave them a like. That's the smallest thing I can do in exchange for their work. And now let's take a look at Ethereum. Here we have its Ichimoku cloud. As you can see straight away, is that it's bearish because you are below the cloud. So when you are below the cloud, like we are here, and we will be until we manage to go above the cloud. Until that happens, we are bearish, according to Ichimoku. Here's the 3-hour chart. Let me, well, I can leave the 3-hour chart. It does not matter. I want to go to zoom down to the 1-hour chart. Actually, let me zoom down to the 1-hour chart. So also the question is, what do you use, the 3-hour chart or the 1-hour chart? It depends on how aggressive you want to be. It will take more time to enter a position on the 3-hour chart than on the 1 hour chart. So if there's a lot of uncertainty and you want more confirmation, then wait for the 3 hour chart. If you are quite sure about entering a position sooner, then go for the 1 hour chart. You can even go down to the 30-minute chart, but on cryptos, I think that it's a little risky to go below the 1 hour chart. But if we look at the 1 hour chart, so we are bearish and we need to get above the cloud, which is here, in order to think about a long position. So now you can see that we actually, well, we have here, we have the super trend, which is below price, but we are now at the Tenkan, that line. We are on the Tenkan right now, and we are also breaking the super trend down. So it looks quite bearish, and the Kitchuin is above it. So your entry point would have been somewhere here when that candle went below the control candle, the highest candle during the last 9 periods. So it would have been this candle probably, because at that moment you broke out of the Kumo. The future Kumo was bearish. Chico was probably free of any price interaction. And the Tenkan was below the Kitchuin, and price was below both of them. So at on this candle, you could have entered. And then the thing is that you would have been stopped out somewhere here. And you would have had to enter again if you did, probably here, and you could be right now in the trade, but once it goes above the Kitchuin, you would exit. So it would have been easier for a trade to look at the 3 hour chart. I think that would have been a more profitable trade, because on the 3 hour chart, you could have entered here on that candle, and you would right now still be in the trade. But you can take profits along the trade. So you could have taken profits while price started moving in your favor. And right now, if Elliott wave, for example, tells you that the bottom should be in, you could exit here with a profit. If you entered here, let me see if I can show you that. Just a second. I need to have my tool that work. So if you entered here and you exit down here, no. Okay, it's hard for me to put it right because I have Zoom, which is making it more complicated. Anyways, you would have made 8.91% on that trade, multiplied by your leverage. So it would have been a profitable trade if you exit it here. Okay, now that being said, let me save. Okay, but if we go back to the 1 hour chart, the earliest entry you can think of, if you don't want to be extremely risky and go down to the 30-minute chart, which I don't recommend, would be to wait for price to go above the Kumo cloud, and then look for an entry point, and you have to satisfy all the conditions, which are the four condition I always talk about. One is the Kumo breakout, 2 is the future Kumo, 3 is Chico. Chico must move above price. And lastly, you have to be above the Kichuin and the Tenkan, and they must be in the right order, which means Tenkan has to move above the Kichuin. And right now the Kichuin is above the Tenkan. Once all those conditions are fulfilled, you can look for an entry point. And the last condition that I have is that Elliott wave confirms the entry, so that Elliott wave is bullish also. And since we talk about Elliott wave, let's now take a look at the Elliott wave labeling. Here we have the last movement on Ethereum and its Elliott wave labeling. So I've labeled it down here an A wave. I've put a B wave up here. The B wave subdivides into 3 waves, which are, I put an A wave up here, a B wave down here, and a C wave up here. And the B wave was a little complicated because right now I've labeled it as an A, B, C, which forms a double V. Then you have an X wave, and then a Y wave, and double V, X, and Y are 3 waves, and those 3 waves form a B wave. Then you get a C wave, and from the B wave top here, you still have to accomplish on the last C wave down. So now we're going to take a look at the last C wave. So let me move the chart a little around, zoom a little out. Now you should be able to see everything. Here again, we have the B wave top. And down here, we have the C wave. And it's a C wave of Y of X. So we should have accomplished the X wave down. And since we have made the X wave, we are looking for a Y wave, and that should go move price higher. And the C wave, of course, has 5 waves in it, which are wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wave 4 was formed of a triangle. The triangle stopped at 2,701. And then you had 5 waves down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the bottom. And the bottom occurred at 2,485. And since it's wave X, we are now expecting a wave Y higher. Wave 4, I think I've told you, but I'm just repeating it if I did. Wave 4 was formed of a triangle. So you had the 5 legs of the triangle, A, B, C, D, E, and then you did get the thrust out of the triangle down into the bottom. Now, when do we have some certainty that price is not going to go any lower? When do we get a hint that the low could be in? So it would be extremely risky to risk it right here, because maybe it is extending and we go a little lower. But you get a hint when we move above 2,653, then you get a hint that the bottom is probably in, and you get even a stronger hint when you move about 2,701. So I would wait for it to cross at least 2,701 according to Elliott wave to go long. So I would wait for price to move above that level here. And once it does that, I would take a look at Ichimoku and see if Ichimoku tells me, for example, on the 1 hour chart to go long. If both of them confirm the long entry, then I would take a long entry and I would put my stop loss below the Kichuin. And I can show you that. So the Kichuin is this level. And price, once it crosses it, it's above it, somewhere here. Let's say maybe here at that level. And the Kichuin should then be somewhere down here. So I would then put my stop loss below the Kichuin. And that's what I would do if I want to go long on Ethereum and if I get a signal to go long. Now, that's all I wanted to tell you today. Please become a member of my free Telegram group to have a second way of communicating with me. And if you're interested in my service, then let me know and I'll give you the instruction on how to become a member. Just use Telegram to ask for it, the free Telegram group. Just contact me on the free Telegram group and then I'll provide you the instruction how to become a member. Now, that being said, thanks for watching and see you soon. By soon, I mean, I hope I'll find the time to do one intervention next week and maybe two, but that's probably all I can do. I was trading a lot and I had a couple of things to do and I didn't find any time last week for an intervention. I think I missed last week, but I'm doing it now on the weekend. So that still counts for last week. Anyways, I see you next week. Bye-bye.